Hey, so today I have to react to, and I do say have to because I've been tagged in this and sent this a million times. And I'm even late on it. I don't really care to get the clickbait, like I'm not really the guy who's like, oh, I got to put the video out so I get all the fucking algorithm like traction. Oh my goodness.
No, you just want to talk about it in your time.
Also, like I find the people who watch things like that when they're fresh are generally the worst. Like that's where you get the shittiest comments from the worst human beings on the face of the planet. Because those people, what they do is they flap their little wings around whatever thing is trending. Like I call them hype flies. They buzz around like fresh shit, and they just go from story like this to story. It has no correlation to tattooing. Like it has nothing to do with like
actual tattooing.
Well, what the actual thing is. Like it can be anything, right? Like they'll just go from one train wreck to the next, and they'll pretend to know a lot about it for a minute, and then the next thing happens, and then they're an expert on that,
right?
And they go from thing to thing to thing because it's really the only thing that keeps them alive, I think. Like it's almost like it's a storyline for existence.
Keeps them going.
Yeah, like you see this a lot, like these car wreck kind of stories, and everyone shows up out of the woodworks to pile on, and I feel like it's sometimes better to cover these things a little later when you miss some of those people. So then the only people that will hear about this are the people who are actually interested in, not just my take on it, but the event in general. So this 45-year-old influencer who... Influencer is such a strange term, like, because I've never heard of this fucking guy. And, like, I've known people who have way bigger platforms than me.
Yeah.
And you would never recognize them.
Right.
Whereas we go out, no matter what, because I've lost my TikTok account, right?
Yep.
And, like, people recognize me all over the place.
From TikTok, usually.
Or just at all, like, articles and shit on, so, like, you can be infamous, right? Like, because there's a lot of people who have seen me. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I have, because this guy currently had a bigger Instagram following than me. I've never even fucking heard of him. It just goes to show you that there's all kinds of little pockets online. But I guess dude had some tattoos already, and he was going in to get his full back tattooed by, I think, 5 or 6 artists.
Yep.
Under Anesthetic. And before the tattoo session even started, he didn't wake up.
Yeah, from the anesthesia.
So I want to preface this whole thing with a giant rest in peace. I mean, no disrespect to this guy in general.
Very sad.
That's where the charity stops from me, because I have nothing but hostile feelings about all of this.
It's so risky.
Oh, it's not just that. It's completely it's completely stupid.
It's ridiculous.
It is completely ridiculous. There is zero reason to be thinking to do this. Absolutely zero.
If you can't deal with the pain, use numbing cream.
It's not even just that. Like, even that is a stretch for me. Like, we have gotten so fucking soft and weak as a people that we are like, how do I get... It's like diet pills, right? I want to lose weight, but I can't stop eating, right? I'm going to take this... Like, I'm not saying... Because, like, I gain weight really easily. That is a thing. There are some people who... But, like, everyone's always looking for the quickest, easiest, pain-free way to... results. And to me it's like, I think it's good that tattooing became popular, and I think it brought a lot of real artists into the fold.
Yep.
Less just like bikers and fucking like dirtbags and drug addicts and shit. But it also brought in a lot of people who realistically probably don't have any business in this industry.
Right.
Not just on the tattooer side, but also clients. Like, you get people in here literally, like, I want a tattoo, but I don't know what I should get. Like, they feel like they can't be a person without a tattoo. And like, this is where, like, it's a little cliche coming from probably the most tattooed person who's ever lived, let's be real, for hours and layers to say this, but like, not everybody needs a fucking tattoo.
No,
and by the way, like, I was doing this a long time before that was the case. It, costs you something to be a weirdo at one point.
Yeah, you would get made fun of, and it would be
I got
hard
bullied
to get a
in
job.
school for this shit.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the thing anymore.
No.
Now it's probably more common to be picked on if you don't have one, I would think.
Yeah, probably.
Like, everyone has them. And, like, that's good, but it also invites stuff like this. Like, this guy, you probably don't need a fucking tattoo. Like, you probably don't need one. You're probably not the kind of guy who needs one if you think, there's no way I could do it. Like, Not I think I can't do it. It's I can't possibly do this. I can't be awake and in pain. Put me under. I don't care what the consequences could be. I can't do that. Like, you know before you start.
I don't even think they should be offering
It's
this. Like, I think that, like, because there's so many risks to being put under like that. And, like, you agree to those risks when you're being put under. But, like, most of the time when you're getting put under, it's for a medical reason.
even then, like, it's so, because I've heard people say, oh, well, you're going to be a tough guy, Remy. Next time you get dental work, do it without free. See, that's not the same fucking
It's
thing
not
at
the
all,
same.
you moron.
It is not the same.
And the people who say that, they like sub 50 IQ. Like, that's like, there are some things that you are medically required to go under for.
I also feel like you didn't get put out for your
I
wisdom
didn't.
teeth. So,
I haven't been under anesthetic, but that's not me bragging.
No.
That's just the fact. But there are some things that you have to be. Like,
Yep.
they don't even ask you.
Yep.
It's done for you.
I'm horrified of being put under.
Yeah, you were stressing about forever.
But I'm glad that I did for my wisdom teeth. But I wouldn't take it lightly. It's there's a lot of risks involved in it.
But the whole thing is, like, this is all fear. We're not talking about the risks of anesthetic. We're talking about people being cowards.
Oh, afraid
Like,
of getting a tattoo.
We're literally what we're talking about is people being scared, right? Like, because here's the thing: there is no danger at the end of the tunnel.
Not
Like,
of a tattoo.
No, there's no like, if you get fucked up by a bad artist.
Worst case scenario, you get an infection.
Worst case scenario, you get infection. There is no reality where whatever pain you're imagining is going to happen is going to be bad enough that you might not live through
The thing
it.
is, though, is you're getting an infection if you get this style of tattooing anyways. Like, if you're going to get an infection,
Oh,
you're going
well,
to
I
get an infection.
mean, there's no guarantee of an infection.
No, but it's the same amount of risk for infection. So
But-
this is just being a baby about the pain. And,
Well-
like, no offense to the guy who's gone. It's just, we shouldn't be doing this.
Well, no one should be. He's not the first, and he won't be the last. And that's the whole thing is absolutely preposterous. And I knew it was going to happen. I predicted this was going to happen before we ever did it, because I could see an uptick in people. What happens is when you use numbing cream a lot of the time, and I've never even tried it, but I've heard this from people who were fairly heavily tattooed, that once they started using it, they couldn't stop using it. And then it's like this, like it's almost like, I want it to be better though, right? Like, people go, oh, but it's not good enough because it only lasts so long.
It's not
like,
perfectly painless.
yeah, and so then it's like, what else can we do? What else can we do? How about we're not awake for it? How about I just wake up and the work is done?
No, geez.
And it's like, I don't care about the money, because like a lot of people don't care about the money.
No.
There are a lot of people who do care about the money, but if you're going in for this, then it's not about money at all, right?
Well,
Like,
you
there's-
have the money to do this.
So, like, there are people who, they'll just show up, they'll be conked out for the whole thing, they'll wake up, and they'll have some almost always generic piece of shit tattoo. Like, it's well done, like the
Right.
guys that are, but it's the most generic bullshit of all time.
Right.
And, like, I want to put this out there, like, I'm going to use my chest piece as an example, because so many people were like, made the same kind of comment. Of all the things you could do over black, you chose to do that. Yeah, because tattoos are supposed to be interesting.
And personal. And
No, just interesting.
Yeah.
They don't have to be personal. It's like, I remember when you get a tattoo, it was like, oh, look, that's kind of weird. Oh, that's different. That's something. Now it's like, oh, what could I find on Pinterest in 13 fucking minutes?
True.
Slap that on me and make it as fast and painless as possible,
Dude,
please.
press the thing.
I want nothing to do with this tattoo. I want as little to do with it as possible. I don't want pain. I want it fast. I don't want to pay for it. Just fucking put the thing on me and try not to make me feel anything while I'm getting it, please. I don't even want to know it's there. I don't want to know how it got there. I don't care about any part of the process. Just give me the fucking hamburger. That's basically what people are saying these days. And it's become really, really common. Like, you'll have people wander in here off the fucking road and they're like, oh yeah, you guys got that numbing? It's like the idea of getting the tattoo is impossible without it.
Well, I've had people who I've even tried to talk them into like their first tattoo, numbing cream, and I'm like, the next one you should try it without, because it's not actually that bad.
It just
And
breaks.
they're always just like, meh.
You want to know what things feel like is my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you, I could write a book on how things actually feel, because here's the thing. Doing it once isn't enough to know what it feels like.
No, I
I'm
know.
sorry
You
for the
gotta do
guy
it
out
hundreds
there
of
who
times.
has a very, very choppy, pasty-looking nipple tattoo that he survived through the agonizing 4 minutes that he was afraid to do for the 6 years, because that's usually how nipples go.
Yeah.
They're afraid of them forever, and then they get through it and they never touch it up or whatever.
Yep.
Like that, you don't even know how that actually feels until you've done it more than once, because
yeah.
it's colored by the amount of anxiety you bring into the session, what you've built it up to be, and also where your hormones are at, what you ate that day,
Yep.
did you get enough sleep,
How you're feeling that week.
yeah, what mood are you in? All of those things color how the experience feels. It has very little to do with what the actual tattoo feels like.
Yep.
And the only way you ever really figure that out is by doing something many, many times. A lot of people go, how did it feel to get your nipples tattooed? How did it feel? Which time?
Yeah.
Which time are we talking about? Which mag did we use? Which artist? Right?
Yep.
What weight was I at? Where was I in my life at that
Were
time?
they pierced or were they unpierced? Or
There's
all of the different factors.
And it's different for everyone too, by the way, because everyone has different sensation.
Well, yeah,
So-
some people have way more sensitive nipples than other
Well,
people.
just in general.
Yep.
In every area. But we had a kid come in here. I did a sleeve with Ashland. Literally his first session. He's never been touched before.
Mm-hmm.
Here's basically what he said. I'm a bitch. I can't do this, so I'm doing numbing cream. Like, he didn't say that, but that's what he said.
But it's like,
And
how do you know?
It was even the way, because he was talking to me, and I didn't say anything, because if you want to do numbing cream, it's not my fucking place to say, right? You do you. I'm not trying to shame anyone, really. It's better than this.
Oh, yeah.
But he
the
literally,
gateway, though.
he had his head hung in shame as he said it. It was like he knew it was embarrassing.
Right.
It's like, what a better feeling would be to go, I did that, it wasn't that bad, I could do that again, That was easy. People do this with everything in life, right? I can tell you, I can count on one hand the amount of times that I've been excited to work out in the last 6 months.
Right.
And the minute you're done, you feel great. It's the same way with tattoo. You don't really get that with numbing cream, though. You won't get that with anesthetic. You don't get much of anything from it. You get a very hollow piece that you have no attachment to. You have no understanding of. You don't know how the cake was made, how the sausage is made, all that shit.
And how do you know that they're not just going to put a big dick on you?
Let me tell you, well, there's always that option. That could happen to you when you're awake. There's dicks in so many tattoos. But, I have learned so much through some terrible tattoo sessions. I remember halfway through the first time he blacked my back out in a single session. That's right. This guy was going under to have 6 artists do a back piece. I want this to keep in your mind. I had my entire back done twice over in a single session. I didn't die, right? You know what I did? I had chicken and enjoyed life after. And I felt, holy shit, I wasn't actually sure I could do that. And at that time, because I'm so long in this game already, I've been doing this, especially the extreme stuff, the really, the limit pushing shit. I've been doing it for a minute. And when I sat down for that, I felt like I was challenging myself.
Right.
It was like, I am raising my own bar. Bar was pretty high, but I hadn't moved it in a while.
Yeah.
Because I had been doing things. Sure, I've been doing some color on black and stuff that's theoretically hard to do, but the feats of strength type stuff, the stuff that really pushes you into the unknown, that I hadn't done as much of recently. And I've been quite a bit older than I was the last time I'd done anything that severe. And so I was like, I want to see if I can still do this, right? It was all this talk of, oh, you get older, it feels worse, all this shit, right? And it's you can't pay an amount of money to get the feeling of victory that I had that day.
Right.
Right? The elation. There is nothing like it. There's nothing like facing down something that should be impossible to survive through from a pain standpoint. You want to understand what it's like to have your entire back done in a single session.
Right.
And then you go, I could do it again.
There's
Right?
6 artists 6 artists would have taken like a couple hours, I think.
No, well, it depends on how detailed it is. But
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. It's like, the point of it is like, you're not getting the best part out of tattooing.
Nope.
I'm telling you right now, I cared more about that experience.
Mm-hmm.
That back blackout is gone. I
Right.
don't have a blackout on my back anymore. But what I have is a memory of surviving through an entire back blackout. Not just once, but twice.
Right. And there's
Right?
like a camaraderie too that you kind of
Oh, yeah.
form with the artist that's doing it.
But
'cause-
you learn your own inner strength
Yeah.
too. Like, it's like, there's probably nothing someone could do physically to make me submit. You could kill me. I'm not the best fighter in the world. You could fucking knock me out, right? Like, that's obvious. It's doable. Someone probably wants to knock me out right now. But like, to make me physically submit from pain is probably impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's you won't get that feeling from doing this.
No.
Those are the things that make you actually strong as a person. Because let me tell you, when that happens, when you do something like that, when you survive something awful like that, that should be impossible, like pain-wise, it makes everything else you deal with in life easier. Every time you do something like that, every little thing going wrong, everything, like, you bounce back quicker. Even if you get mad, you just come back quicker, because it's
Makes
like
sense.
you just like, okay, well, I've survived this, let's survive that. Like, you just get good at coming back, and you understand that, like, there are no bad moments that last long. Like, there's no bad feeling that you're going to be in forever. Like, it's just one of those, well, I'll do this for a few minutes, then I'll be eating a fucking chicken strip, you know? I'll
Right.
do this for a little while, then I'll be like, that's where I'm at in every single session. And because I've done so much with pain, people are always asking me if I have some way of blocking it out. Like, they never go, oh, how do you, like, it's never phrased in like, what do you get from it, or how do you, like, it's always like, how do you not deal with it?
But you deal with it every second.
The assumption is that I don't feel it, or that I found some secret. No, the secret is to feel it more.
Yes.
The secret is to be present with it, right? Get good at being in that. Because you don't really get to keep anything in life. The only thing you get to keep is the experience. That's it. Everything else is passing. Literally, this video you're watching right now, it's going to be done in no time.
Right.
Everything we're doing is over in no time. This, you want to, I'm getting a little meta with it, but that's reality. The only thing you get to keep is the experience of having done it and survived it. That's it. That's all
it.
you get.
It's true.
Every tattoo you've got, you're not going to take that. You're not even going to see that back piece daily. You know, you're going to see it in pictures and shit like this.
But you got a great whale tail.
Yeah, exactly. I got the thing I got from that was I made it through, and halfway through that, I was thinking, I don't know if I can do this. And I remember thinking to myself, yes, I can.
Yep.
If it's physically possible, it's doable by me, right? And I feel like you only really learn those things by pushing yourself, and this is just defaulting to, I can't do it, I'm too weak, right? And I'd rather die than feel this, so I'll just choose that, right? Because even if you don't think it's going to happen, you are taking on the risk of death to avoid a few hours of pain.
Yeah.
And that's fucking pathetic.
It's scary.
It's pathetic.
I agree.
Like, I am ashamed of where we are in this industry, and I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen, and I knew they would blame tattooing, and there are people doing that already.
And it's unfortunate that it did happen. I feel bad for this guy, and kind of what's being said here is just more of a generalization.
It's
Like,
just, he's just the first example we have. There will be more of these.
No attack on him though. Like, we're
But
not
there
trying
will
to be.
no, but there will be more of these. He's just the first example of this.
I agree.
And it's a sad statement on humanity that we would rather risk dying than discomfort for a few hours.
Yep.
That we need to
insane.
do better than this.
Yes, we do. I agree.